to dress up when I belly dance like everybody does, and I put on costumes and hair pieces and wigs, and it's part of what I think is really fun about being a belly dancer. But it kind of backfired on me one day. I was doing a performance and this lady came up and she was having a great time dancing with me, and she's like, I have to take lessons, and so I gave her my card. She called the next day and signed up and started in my new basics class. Oh, and she showed up. She looked very disappointed, and I was like, the first thing out of her mouth when she came to the room was, no, 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 no. I didn't want to learn from you. I wanted to learn from that beautiful girl. And I was like, that was me. And so I had to go. I was like, I clean up really, really good. So sometimes people don't recognize you when you get to really playing and having a good time. And so it's kind of funny.
I was performing in a restaurant. As you do, as you're walking around, I had the big, huge candle tray on. And it's so interesting that you'll be right there dancing and people will be talking about you as if these things are only to hold earrings. So it's kind of interesting when you overhear what everybody's saying, and I'm dancing around and there's this table of two couples, and so I do this back bend with the tray, you know, and as I'm back bending, my boobs are falling forward and whatever, and it's like right by this guy's head, and he says something about them being real. And I stand up, and I was like, what was that? What were we saying? And he goes, oh, well, we were having this debate about whether or not your candles were real or not. And I laughed and I said, oh, I wasn't sure what you were mentioning was real, but just so you know, everything is real. And they just died laughing. His girlfriend was like, awkward.
There was a nightclub owned by a couple guys, and one of them was getting married. And they decided to hold a very festive dinner for family and friends and colleagues right there at the nightclub. And there were different entertainers there. They hired two belly dancers. It was me and another acquaintance, a dance colleague of mine, and we divided the props that we'll use. She will open the show with a tray of lit candles on her head, and I will dance with the wings of Isis. And the other dancer was absolutely excellent artist, very creative, but she had this idea of commercial belly dance, that it is like a low-end stuff, and she wants to study and perform real dance. So she thought of the whole thing as kind of making some extra income while she's moving toward her dreams. While of course my feeling is exactly opposite to that. I cut no corners. I feel that when I perform publicly, that is the big show, and that is the real dance, and wherever I arrive, that is the red carpet, and absolutely no cutting of the corners. So we are getting ready for the show. I'm a little nervous because she's taking longer time than I expected. First, she was forever putting on her wig. She was wearing wig for performances, and it transformed a rather plain Jane into, with some very expert makeup, into astonishing Orientalist dream woman. Then she started messing with the candle tray, and I noticed that she's attaching a strip of Velcro to the bottom of the tray. And you know, some dancers use this trick, and I can't even tell you enough how deeply I despise it, because if you want to do tray balancing, learn the real thing. Yes, it may take years to be really smooth and terrific, but to be just watchable and do simple things may just take you, you know, some months. So it's worth investing rather than using tricks, because sometimes people want to take that candle tray and try balancing it, see if you're doing a trick. So it's really not a clean solution to do these tricks and real technical fudges. My partner, the dancer, though, she worked it out with the waiter, so that the moment she finishes dancing, the waiter will snatch the tray away, so that nobody has a chance to check if there was any trick there. So she goes on dancing, and a totally enjoyable show. I was watching it all from the doorway, just totally enjoying and feeling very proud of her job. She finishes with a tray of lit candles on her head, and at the very end she strikes the grand pose and takes the tray of lit candles off her head with her wig. Seriously. The Velcro got entangled in her wig, and because she was in a hurry, perhaps the wig was not placed correctly. The wig and the tray come off together. There was this ripple of agitation in the audience as people were grabbing their cell phones to take pictures, to take video, and probably the less kind of them were even uploading it online or whatnot. It was absolutely mortifying. I rushed on stage hoping that my grand arrival will detract the attention, but no, needless to say, nobody paid attention to what I was doing because people were reviewing the pictures they took on their phones and video cameras and whatnot. So, you know, it was sad and it was funny. None of us deserves to be punished for our imperfections so cruelly with such an embarrassment, but there is definitely a lesson in it.